So to read that last paragraph under the heading Demand for Relief, continuing, I believe under the rules of war and under international law, the rule of usufruct comes into mandated and required administration per the Hague Convention of 1907, Article 55, quoting, "The occupying state shall be regarded only as administrator and usufructuary of public buildings, real estate, forests, and agricultural estates belonging to the hostile state and situated in the occupied country. It must safeguard the capital of these properties and administer them accordance with the rules of usufruct," end quote. Should the above Article 55 not apply, then why does the state hold the original title and only provide a certified copy through its authorized public agent? Please see section 4137. So under the next heading on this, I'm on page 4 of 6 pages. Preferred options for relief. Since I have attempted to do my best in good faith to have various public trustees address a release of claim of interest per 12 U.S.C. 95A and a release of any potential reversionary interest of the estate made to and for the account of the United States, the public trustees have remained silent. My preferred resolve of this matter is to support and aid the United States with the intention that we can begin to return to peace and end this declared national emergency through the elimination of the national debt. I have no issue returning income, pension plans, and bank accounts in the name I use to an authorized trustee, conditioned upon an agreement and understanding that the state, whether New York, Florida, or federal government, step up to the plate and begin to take on the required lawful obligations and responsibility to administrate the name according to the rules of usufruct. As supported by the U.S. Supreme Court case United States versus Pee Wee Coal Company, rules of war, international law, and the last line of the Declaration of Independence, which means I have exclusive authorized use, control, possession, and dominion of any property in the name Anthony Rubio, where the state as title owner and trustee discharges and acquits all expenses, bills, needs, taxes, etc. charged and or incurred by the name Anthony Rubio. And I turn over to the public trustee the checks, income, receipts, etc. in the name Anthony Rubio in trust that all of this actually gets forwarded to the Federal Reserve and that the debt is obliterated, extinguished, and retired. I do not know exactly how it all works, nor do I care to, as I imagine it is part of a national trade secret. Besides, it is not my business to figure out your system. Without doubt, the details of the entire matter will be discussed through this process. On a personal aside, it is my inner gut belief that none of us are put on this planet to take advantage of anyone, including those who are stupid. It sounds funny, but it really isn't when you come right down to it, but rather to be of service to mankind in some form. If we were all in service to each other as opposed to selfish personal false gain, what a wonderful world this would be. Take further note, you have received the condensed version of many hours of study. As I stated previously, I have no legal training. This is my best effort in good faith to have this matter resolved. If you require any more information from me, please do not hesitate to place that request in writing and send to me to the address in the exact format outlined above located at the top of this demand. Please note, this demand compels due process of law through an administrative hearing to determine rights, duties, status, and construction of an instrument organized within the state of New York, its legal and beneficial parties, its authoritative legislation to use said instrument for personal identification and/or benefit liability connected with such use. Because I am located in the Union State of Florida, I am able to attend an administrative hearing by phone if necessary, as it would be a tremendous hardship for me to travel to Albany. I thank you in advance for your response in writing with original wedding signature to this matter within 10 business days. May God bless you. I am from the pre-existent father and a son in the pre-existent one. Again, the footprints by Anthony with the thumbprint under for Anthony Rubio, authorized signature, property of state of New York. And then, of course, all copies go to Mark Fleischer, Andrew Como, Thomas D. Napoli, Eric T. Schneiderman. A copy of the birth certificate, front and back. And of course, the birth certificate has signed Guy Warner, Director of Vital Records, whatever. A copy of the green card. Again, this went registered mail. Copy of the receipt. A copy of the USPS tracking from the internet that it was received. A copy of the fact that it was faxed to Thomas, to Eric, to Mark and Andrew. And then as part of Exhibit B, of course that was all part of Exhibit A, that whole package being sent to Mark Fleischer. Part Exhibit B, which is 11 pages, which I had recorded publicly. You can well imagine what's in this. It's a notice of release of claim and interest per 12 U.S.C. 95A. If you're not familiar with the 12 U.S.C. 95A, I suggest you get familiar with that, because that basically says what took place when the president makes a declaration of war. And again, it's not the war of fighting with guns. It's a war basically because the country is bankrupt. That was 2 pages, and again, how that was signed with a stamp, a dollar stamp international with the footprints, notarized, again with the birth certificate attached, front and back. Wait a second, did I put paid to the, and on the back of this birth certificate I put paid to the United States of America without recourse. Could be just United States. Again, all the trustees that got this, and let me read which ones got that one that got recorded in public records. The Pope got it, the Universal Postal Union in Switzerland, Eric Holder as Attorney General, Jacob Lewis, Secretary of the Treasury, Thomas Curry, Officer of the Comptroller of the Currency, Nirav R. Shah, MD, as New York State Health Commissioner, Officer of the Governor Rick Scott for Florida, Ken Detzner, Florida Secretary of State, Peter Weinstein, Chief Judge, Broward County, Florida. And again, what went with all that was all the receipts of the certified mail things that it was stamped by the post office. And then when I didn't get a response to that, I did this first notice of acceptance, acknowledgement, and agreement, a fiduciary duty by public trustees, executors, administrators, by acquiescence through official public office held. So it's a 1-page document, notarized, again, with the stamp, the footprints, blah, blah, blah on it, along with all the with the 2, 4, 6, 7 trustees, because I couldn't get the green slips for Switzerland and the Pope. And then finally I recorded a final notice of default and acceptance acknowledgement and agreement of fiduciary duty by public trustees, executors, and administrators by acquiescence through official paid public office held. And again, another one-pager, notarized, recorded in public records, blah, 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 with the paid to the United States without recourse. The 7 stamp things from the post office, and then finally on Exhibit C, a copy of the authenticated birth certificate, which I went over previously, which includes John Kerry certifying that the document hereto annexed is under the seal of the state of New York, and that such seal is entitled to the full faith and credit of the United States. Then, of course, the State of New York Department of State by Sandra J. Tallman, basically saying that the full faith and credit may and ought be given to said clerk's official acts, meaning Guy Warner when he signed the birth certificate, and of course the actual birth certificate with all the information, and that's it. And that, I think, all added up to 55 pages. It all got ignored. So what I would like to do with all this, besides putting it on YouTube, is start acting on this now that Donald Trump is president-elect, because he wants to drain the swamp. Again, I need to be clear what this is not. It's not about how do I get away with something. I'm looking to let everybody know that this is necessarily a fraud. What I believe is some people, whatever suits your situation that you feel is right. For instance, if you feel a system of communism is right for you, then that's the system you should have the right to be in. If you feel the system of a libertarian is right for you, then that's the system you should be in. If you feel conducive to socialism or republic and you like Democrats and whatever it is, you should have what you desire in life. We have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This business of, well, supposedly or presumed I'm a U.S. citizen, which when you go back, you really have to take an oath according to 2 Stat 153, I guess before a judge or something, that you're a U.S. citizen. And we just keep all these presumptions going, and then somehow people become surety where others in the government have personal profit and gain. What I really sense is it's just gotten out of hand. And again, it's not about going after anybody. I want peace. We all should get along. I believe this planet was given in absolute love and grace by the Creator of all of us, equally to enjoy, possess, but we have to take care of it. What goes with rights to go responsibilities, and I don't want anything presumed that I don't want to do my part to be of service to this planet and God's creatures on it, meaning my brothers and sisters. So I've done it. I've tried my best to explain this. I hope I haven't confused anybody. I hope my intent has been clear. It really is a spiritual issue. I don't look at Hillary Clinton as necessarily bad, but really we learn through a love or pain, and the quicker we get to moving towards that goal of loving one another. And what I really believe that means is respecting and honoring each other and understanding that we're all in the same boat. And again, that's not a communist or a socialist kind of boat I'm talking about. It's that we share, we give, and we receive. And that's how this life works. I've been most blessed. I've been able to go down to see John of God in Brazil 4 times. And I learned so much on how those miracles happen. If you don't know anything about John of God in Brazil, look him up on the internet. Miracle healings happen down there, and you get a healing on many levels. It could be spiritual, mental, physical, emotional. Any one of the 4 or all 4. And you don't necessarily have to even go down there. If somebody brings your picture and leaves it in the triangle or goes before John of God, miracles can happen. It's more than just a belief. It's that there are universal laws that are always in operation, and we need to honor them. And again, once I learned how and how they are able to perform these wonderful gifts to everyone throughout the world. I mean, people go down to the middle of nowhere, Brazil, from all over the world. I mean, Finland, England, France, Canada, America, South America, it's just China, it's all over, just to receive these wonderful healings. They truly are miracles. Again, John of God in Abadiânia, Abadiana in Brazil. It's near Brasilia. Do take the time to learn this, folks. It's more than just legal stuff. As a matter of fact, it's so boring. I would much rather be doing something more with my time, but I feel so strongly on this subject and the spiritual nature behind it. I hope I've not bored anybody too much, but it's important for me to get this information out there at this point in time. And let's just know Donald Trump is going to really clean up what's going on out there. It really has crossed the line where my gut tells me that we're just waiting for the bubble to burst. And actually, I seem to recall Donald Trump mentioning this. Again, it's not to make Donald Trump as the savior. But he's sure, which my gut tells me, and I truly believe that he's going to make some big changes without trying to make the people too aware so chaos does not happen in the streets. But we really need to learn and understand what's been going on, the monetary system, the Federal Reserve System, that everything in the United States within its jurisdiction has a irrecusable first lien upon it. Whether you believe it's, you own a house or a car or whatever, it all has a lien on it. Federal Reserve notes by definition are debt obligations of the United States under 12 U.S.C. 411 and 18 U.S.C. 8. Please get familiar with this. Again, I try with the bank to make sure I do not endorse private credit. I seriously doubt they do anything to not fractionalize money. I forgot the exact term now. Where they fractional reserve it, the money, just not to hurt the United States. But again, I can't be everybody's watcher. So just really study this stuff, folks. It's so important, and look for good things to come out of Donald Trump. Let's just know it's going to happen. Thank you so much.